Hey, what's up guys? How we doing? Welcome to the Ironman wrap-up. I want to thank everybody for subscribing. Thanks to you guys, the channel's it's crushing it. It's really going up fast. We're getting tons of views, getting more attention, and I think we can make some positive changes in this sport. So thank you guys in particular, all of you who subscribed. I know still about, I don't know, 85% of my viewers aren't subscribed, but those of you who have, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. This week, I'm going to cover Chase versus Eli. A couple of heavyweights just throwing haymakers. Like, I don't know how many times I can use that analogy, but it's true. So I'll go over that. Jett almost clinching. He looks really good. He's so smart. He's riding beyond his years and intelligence. I mean, he is just next level. And I want to take a look at some of the rookies. Of course, Haiden Deegan made his debut, but I'm going to take a look at the rookies and make a few comparisons. So if you guys want to get in shape, hit up CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Coach Rob Beams runs that, and he has programs for everybody. Check it out. You don't have to be a motocross racer. You can be a runner, cyclist, mountain biker. He works with everyone. In fact, motocross is one of his smallest segments. If you're any sort of an endurance athlete and you just want some guidance, he has webinars. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. So anyway, hit up Coach Rob at CompleteRacingSolutions.com. And if you choose one of his programs, just at the checkout, let him know you heard it from Cooksey. Steel City Men's Clinic. I'm so happy to bring on the Steel City Men's Clinic. These guys have helped me immensely. They help other racers. They help everybody. They've got supplements. They do everything from erectile dysfunction to traumatic brain injuries. At the Steel City Men's Clinic, they work miracles. Like, they really did help me. Like I said, I was in a bad place after having COVID last year, and they got me the proper supplements and vitamin regimen and injections and stuff that literally brought me back out and made me human again. So I'm so happy to have Steel City Men's Clinic on board with us. So, all right, guys. Without further ado, let's get into this thing.
I'm in the empire business.
Everybody love everybody!
You all know exactly who I am.
Okay, guys, this 450 race, I don't even know what else to say. Like, watching Chase Sexton in the first moto run down Eli Tomac, pass him, drop him, and then have Eli find another gear, come back, pass Chase, and win that moto, and then afterward just looked completely spent. I mean, both guys looked pretty, like they gave everything. Literally, they left it on the track. Listen, we've never had a championship come down to the very end this late, except for in 1996 with McGrath and Emick. But let me just do a quick little recap of that season. That season, McGrath dominated early, crashed at Millville, hurt his foot, sat out Millville, had an issue at Washougal, and it got interesting in the last few rounds. We've never had a series with two heavyweights swinging back, forth, punch, counterpunch, punch, counterpunch. One guy breaks the other guy, but then they come back the next moto and he breaks the other guy. It's crazy how neither guy is willing to accept second place. Both guys are literally laying it all on the line. This is something that it's special. It's special. And I tell you what, this is one that I'll probably go back. We're going to talk about this for years to come. It's very special. You do not want to miss Saturday at Paula. I may actually head out there. I don't know if I will or not. My knee's still kind of jacked up, so I don't know how a day of walking around Paula will be on my my brand new knee. So I may not, but man, I don't know. For history reasons, I might want to go. It's flat out amazing to see those guys. And what's even crazier is in that first moto, Chase Sexton had the fastest lap time, but Eli won. In the second moto, Eli had the fastest lap time, but Chase won. That's how equal it is. I mean, there's just two dudes. One guy will catch him, pass him. The other guy will find his lines, and he'll pass him back. It's just, I can't ever remember two guys going like this. And I mean, I sound redundant, but it's just literally every time I watch it, I'm watching greatness. I'm watching history. I'm watching just, it's awesome. It's really, really cool. And in Ironman, I said in the preview show that I thought Aaron Plessinger would do well. I picked him to go 5th. Plessinger rode amazing, even though he was like 30 seconds back. But those two other guys, I'm not even going to count them. Plessinger won the non-Tomac and Sexton class. He was the first he's the first human being, because the other two are freaking aliens. I don't know what else to say. But it's nice to see Aaron Plessinger finally getting it together. He really, really needs to. He needs to, if he can get what he's doing right now is perfect. Just get some podiums, look good. He's going to get a new bike next year. From what I hear, they fixed the bike, and the new factory edition or whatever they're going to be able to race in Supercross will be much better. So look for Plessinger to maybe reinvent himself again next year, and he needs to, because it's his contract year next year. Jason Anderson, just a savage. He's just fighting outdoors. He's just, for a guy who said he doesn't like outdoors and was kind of only a Supercross only guy who people looked at as somebody who didn't work real hard. That used to be the knock on him. You can't say that anymore. You just can't say that about Jason Anderson anymore. He's that good. I mean, the way he rides, loose, fast. And then also Christian Craig. Christian Craig also, man, he was riding good. I don't ever remember this class this deep all the way through the season. We kind of thinned out a little bit in the middle, but now everyone's back. Everyone's back except for Dylan Ferrandis, and he might even be back at Paula. We'll see. Dungey, riding good, just flirting with that podium. One more chance at it. He might get it. He's Dunge. I think everybody kind of wants to see him get it. So Roxon, he's hanging around. He's still hanging around there. He's giving these guys fits. If they had 15-minute motos, he'd be damn near undefeated. He's so good those first few laps, and he can just sprint out there, and they all know the fade's coming. I think the guys have kind of learned to say, hey, okay, that's just Roxon. It's not Tomac or Chase getting away or somebody who they think they can hang with. They're like, okay, well, let him go. He'll come back to us later on. It's almost like cycling when they let the sprinter just break away because they know he's going to fade. He won't be there at the end. And that's essentially what they let Ken Roxon do. But I just love to see him not mailing it in. He's given all he has, and that's all you can ask. Like, literally, that's all I can ask of these guys is to give what they have. And as a fan, that is what makes you just tip your hat and appreciate them for their greatness. It's not necessarily where they finish against each other. It's, are they getting the best? Are they giving their effort? Are they happy to be there? Those are things that we want to know. And whether it's fair or not, as a fan, we want to know they want to be out there. Because if they don't want to be there, why are we there cheering for them? It's like this trickle-down effect. Whether it's a fair thing or not. Malcolm Stewart, I love that he's riding outdoors. He got 8th, guys. He's top 10. Good for Malcolm. For a guy who clearly doesn't like outdoors, to come out there and get better and ride that nasty track and get 8th place, good for him. Freddie Noren. We all know Freddie Noren's good outdoors. It's nice to see him getting back to his old ways and getting up there. I mean, Freddie Noren, 9th place. That's badass. So, and then Dean Wilson rounding out the top 10. And right behind Dean Wilson was Shane McElrath. McElrath, he got a start. He ran up front. He gave the Club MX team some TV time and some publicity. That alone is worth it right there for having them sign him. And I love that Club MX program. They seem like they're having the most fun. They're doing really good. They got great riders, great camaraderie. Like, if I was a rider and I was kind of privateerish, that's where I'd be wanting to go. That would be ideally the team I'd want to get on to get me springboarded up to maybe a factory ride. But I don't know. That just seems like maybe they will be the team. And, they got a World Supercross team, and it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. So anyway, guys, that's it for the 450s. Barsha, after all the drama, he had a really rough day. Didn't do so hot. Finished back out of the top 10. Hey, guys, if you want your garage to look ridiculously badass, hit up Epic Garage Designs. They're building me a new set tomorrow or sometime this week. They're going to do some slat wall back behind me. I'm going to put some stuff up there. So you'll have an idea of, they're going to help me out because we all know my set looks like shit. Let's be honest. It looks ridiculous, and I know it. All I have is that stupid bib up there. I like the green screen. The green screen's actually easier, so I can just put a picture up there. But I'll have an actual set for when I do the live streams and for when I do interviews. It will look a little bit more professional. And, well, as many of you guys are subscribing, I better get more professional because we're getting up there. And I do appreciate that. And any of you guys that have ATVs or UTVs, hit up revolutionor.com. That's revolutionoffroad.com. Everything you need. You want big wheels? You want 15-inch rims with 32-inch tires on your Razor Turbo? Hit them up. They got it all. They'll tell you what clutch you need, get you some belts. They'll get you all dialed in for wherever you're riding. You want dunes? They got dune stuff. You want mud? They can get you mud stuff. So Anyway, 250 class. The big buzz about the 250 class was the rookie, Haiden Deegan. But before we get to him, I want to talk about Jett Lawrence. Jett Lawrence looks like a veteran who's won 12 championships and he's just clinching one more. He is so smart. He goes when he needs to go. He's collecting overall wins, but he's not putting himself in tremendous danger to do so. He's out there riding like he's on a joyride. And, you know, like I said, he pushes on sections. He chooses when he takes the risk. Very, very calculated. This guy's a great, and I can't wait to see him on a 450 next year. And that's going to be really, really interesting seeing him and Chase Sexton under the Honda tent together next summer. After that, pretty sure Chase is going to KTM, but that one summer underneath there is going to be interesting. Joe Schmoda is literally becoming, he's the second best rider in this series right now. He won the second moto. He got fifth in the first one, but you know, things happen. He has consistently been, since the second half of the season, this guy's been on the podium, I think, every single time. Right there, he's good. It's nice to see him next year with Jett moving out. It's going to be him, Hunter, Tom Vial. The 250 class is, it's funny, Jett's moving out, but I don't think it's getting any easier because these other guys are just stepping up. Hunter Lawrence rode much better than I expected him. He has had a hard time this year. As bad as it's went, he's still doing really good. He rides his ass off. He is a never say die, like a Jeff Stanton mentality. His technique is flawless, but his mentality is very Jeff Stanton, where he just hammer, 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 go, go, go. And that's, you got to respect that about Hunter Lawrence. RJ Hampshire, same thing. There's a bulldog. There's somebody you will never get cheated on effort. RJ, it's nice to see him running up front. He got second in the first moto, fourth in the second moto. Usually a 2-4 will get you at least third overall. Unfortunately, these guys are all so good. It got him fourth overall. Nate Thrasher. We had a Nate Thrasher sighting. He didn't hit the podium because when he hits the podium, it's only first place. If you ain't first, you're last. He's Ricky Bobby of motocross. But he did get a fifth place. Fifth. Apparently there's a fifth in Ricky Bobby's world. So, but it's nice to see Nate Thrasher running up front and kind of realizing that potential that we saw at the end of Supercross when he won the East-West Shootout and when he won 2 of the Atlanta Supercrosses the year before. The talent's there. He's just got to put it all together. And how do you put it all together? I'm not sure. But next year, when it comes to Supercross, he'll be expected to be a title contender for that team. So that'll be fun to watch. Justin Cooper. Justin Cooper, I expected more. I will say this. I didn't know he had COVID 2 weeks ago. Those of you who doubt COVID, whatever, it affects every single person different. My brother got it, said his sinus infection was worse than COVID. I got it, was 3 days in intensive care, long haul, blah, blah, blah. It's different for everybody. So maybe it's dragging out, and when you get these peak athletes and they get sick, it's like this chain reaction, and sometimes it drags them down. So I'm not going to hold this against him. He's still riding really good, but he came in behind, then got sick, and it's just one of those years. But he hung in there. He gave everything he had, and he's 6th overall. Max Voland got some flash up there, ran up front. Max has done exactly what he needs to do. He's consistently right around that 5th, 6th, 7th place. And this last week he ran up front. He got in there. He was in second for a while. He was pushing those guys. He got a feel of that front pace, but he's making it all the way through the year, and that's what's key. And that'll be what he needs to build off for next year. And and we'll see. Jalek Swoll, Cameron McAdoo, Seth Hammaker, those guys were 8, 9, 10. It's nice to see all those guys back out there. All those guys have been dealing with injuries and big crashes, but they've all had pretty good outdoor seasons. I mean, this series is deep, and that makes what I said about some of the rookies even dumber. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. Yes, my prediction with Haiden Deegan going top 5, maybe a podium, that was pretty dumb. In hindsight, looking at it, I should have known better. And I'll tell you why. Now I'll get into the rookies. So the rookies we had, Ryder DeFrancesco, Matt LeBlanc, Talon Hawkins, Haiden Deegan. Those 4 guys, they're pretty good. But Ryder D, Talon Hawkins, Gavin Towers, also out there, they all got beat by a vet rider at Loretta Lynn's. So how did I expect them to come here and compete with the highest level? Now, Haiden Deegan went a little bit faster than those guys. Different track, different scenario. But he still did look better than them, in my opinion. In that first moto, apparently he didn't have a rear brake and was running 11th for most of the moto and went for that crazy step. Like, that was James Stewart-esque if he would have pulled it off, where he jumped up over the face of that. I'm not going to lie, that was crazy. I'm going to chalk that one up to youth. I'm sure Brian's like, what were you doing, man? But I'm going to say this. I saw what I needed to see out of Haiden Deegan to tell me he will be a pro, a good pro, and he'll get there. His first race was, if you just look at the results sheet, it was disappointing. What I look at is, so he was probably super nervous. Who isn't nervous for their first national race, especially somebody with coming in the hype that he had, knuckleheads like me saying he's going to get top 5. He rode his ass off. He rode really good. He was up in 11th with no rear brake. That's impressive in that deep field. I mean, he's beating guys like Pierce Brown, Michael Mosman, Carson Mumford. I mean, there's so many good riders. Shoot, there's 6 factory riders on the star team. So thinking top 5, I don't know what I was thinking. So yeah, looking back, that was a dumb prediction on my end. But I think he would have gotten top 10 had he not made that mistake, because he would have probably gotten 11th. If he just doesn't do that, he finishes 11th or 12th in the first moto, comes out with a rear brake. With the rear brake, I put him between 5 and 10. And I think he's probably inside the top 10. And after practice, and when I did the prediction show, I did readjust my prediction for him and say top 10, not top 5. But he does show a tremendous amount of talent. The fact that he came out and raced that second moto after that horrendous crash shows he's got heart. He's got toughness. That was a bad one, guys. It was really gnarly. But I'm disappointed in the rookies in general. Back in the day, rookies came out and they usually like Carmichael got 4th. Like a lot of these guys, they run top 10, top 5, no problem. And that's what they used to do. Larocco, Larry Ward. But it was a different time. Guys raced all the time. Then we take a guy like Gilliam Ferris, who's the star guy, who was an EMX rider. His best finish ever in EMX was 7th overall. He comes here and gets 9th and 11th. Wait, what? He got 7th in EMX. That's their feeder series to the MX2. It's not even, it's a lower level. It's almost like, it would be our equivalent of the Combine, which it's way above the Combine. But I'm just trying to give you an idea of where it's at level-wise. And he's already consistently a top 10 guy right out of the gate. He came from a KTM. He's on a Yamaha. And he's just right there. Where you got Ryder D, 14th, Matt LeBlanc, 21st, Talon Hawkins, 27th, Haiden Deegan, 31, Gavin Towers outside of that. Like, in the United States, our guys they're growing up at training facilities. They're racing 4 times a year. They're doing these stupid combine things. It's not enough. They're not getting all together and racing on a regular basis to up their level. Meanwhile, over in Europe, this EMX class has got these guys racing hard all together and just, they're getting good. And with Tom Vial coming over here next year, and there's a kid by the name of Lucas Conan, he is the real deal. If I was a team, I'd be trying to hire them to come over here, which Tom Vial already is coming over here, but I would be trying to get Lucas over here. The kid is awesome. The kid is head and shoulders above anything that we have coming up through our farm system here. Although I will say, like I said, Haiden Deegan will be a good pro. Absolutely. But we need to get our guys racing more. We need a better feeder series. This whole 4 times a year majors with these small races is not developing very good talent. And we're seeing guys like Ryder D, Haiden Deegan, Talon Hawkins, who've had really good equipment for a long time. Then they go pro, their equipment's the same, and they're not getting that bump they need, and maybe they're not that much better. Maybe they're racing guys in the amateurs that aren't on as good of bikes. Maybe if they didn't have as good of bikes and everybody was on a level playing field down there, maybe they'd raise the level. Instead, they're just pounding a bunch of guys that are on stock bikes, on their factory bikes, and then when they get to the pros, everyone has a factory bike, and there's no, we get to find, it's setting them up for failure. So going back to ClaimGate, giving these guys that kind of equipment on an amateur level is detrimental to them. It's detrimental to the series, and it's just stupid. It really is dumb. But it was fun seeing all those rookies make their debut. I hope they stick with it, and they're just going to have to hammer it out the old-fashioned way and just start earning results. And maybe some of them will have to go through some non-factory teams and earn their way up, kind of like Phil Nicoletti and the Martins have done. But that's where it is. If you don't come in and make a splash, that's where you end up in this sport. Is it fair? Absolutely not. Does it suck? Hell yes. But that's where it's at. So anyway, guys, thank you for everything. I appreciate all the Cooksey fans, Cooksey Mob. You guys kick ass. You're the best. I do enjoy these videos. I do enjoy the live streams, by far my favorite. And I even got a little loose on the one this week because Coach was in the room. And I think I said, go harass Deegan about blocking me. Do not do that. I'm sorry. That I take that back. Do not do that, people. That was a mistake. Don't do that. Just leave him be. That's a low-class move. I shouldn't have said that. And so don't do that. When I meant like harass, I meant like just like tell him, hey, that was stupid to block him. But don't even do that. Just leave him be. Leave him be. That's going lowbrow, and I don't want to do that. So anyway, thank you guys for everything. I'll catch you later.